The hardest thing for the sunsetting process was just telling our community face to face, these same people with partnerships and meetings and in the community as we showed up for our event. So after us three came together and made that decision, we were like, all right, y'all, like now it's time to actually let our partners know, like let our fiscal sponsor know, let our families know, let the community know. And I think us doing that, I want to say it took us a while. I feel like we were beating around the bush for a little bit. There were some times we were kind of playing with our words, looking at each other like, get it out, Ryan, get it
break
out.
Up with somebody.
Yeah, it was like a breakup. So internally, and I mean, to be honest, we held in this news, y'all, for about 2 or 3 months. So we had to show up to the community, show up to partners, show up to meetings, see people. They're trying to plan for the future, and we're just like, well, what do we say? Like, we felt awful. And so I think for me, if I can share, like that was the most hardest thing. It's just, how do I show up and still smile at this person, knowing they're talking about something that I'm not going to be a part of anymore. Yeah.
I think for me, after a while, it came down to a decision between continuing to work and try and get funding and running out the money that we had, or making a conscious decision to sunset and using our money in a really intentional way instead of chasing after funding that was probably going to get really difficult to find.
My daughter, I can't remember what grade she's in. These kids grow up so fast, y'all. My daughter's now a junior at Renton High School. And so for the past 6-7 years, she's been also a RIZP kid. And this is hitting her too. She's like, are you guys serious? Like, what's going to happen? Who's going to show up in the community now? And it's like, the community will.
I think not only with the Skyway Resource Center that's a living legacy. It's like all the ways that you are supporting students, whether it was like your Spring Bling, your We Belong programming through the middle schools, but also like you all were trusted by the Bomber Foundation to launch the Summer in Skyway, one of the only few, if not the only, like summer school operated in Skyway
for free.
And I think like RIZP has this legacy already, and then now that you all have to sunset, like that's a huge decision. And one of the things, like sunsetting is something that no nonprofit ever wants to do, right? It's scary. If there's any like nuggets of information that you want to tell everyone else, like all the things that you've learned, like something that you've learned that you want others people to either share, to replicate, or to be like, oh, that's possible. When it comes to sunsetting, what would it be?
It's okay to make the decision earlier. It's okay to make the decision earlier.
Yeah.
Like, we made that decision in May. We're sunsetting in October, so 5 months.
Yeah.
And I think that the dignity, and I do want to say, not everyone has the privilege or luxury to be able to make this decision 5 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
6 months, 2 months ahead of time.
Yes.
Especially in this climate right now. But if you do, it's okay to be proactive and include yourself in that decision. Include your staff. If it's only the ED or the finance person in these conversations, include your staff. Because we all, like we said earlier, we all have families, we all have lives. And that's not going to stop.
Yeah, that's not sunsetting.
That's not sunsetting, right? And so the ability to include ourselves in those really hard conversations and decisions, I think, is one piece for sure. The second piece is understanding like who your audience is, but not necessarily from a messaging standpoint. I'll let Jasmine speak to that if she's going to. But I think more of like we're not a direct service provider particularly, right?
Yeah.
We're more so a convener. And so we understand our value to our partners holding these spaces.
Yeah.
The information that we hold, it's a simple question of, if we go away, what happens? And we thought about the what happens to then say, let's plan backwards and make sure there's time so that we can have these meetings and download information to this person. pass off this relationship, hopefully as best we can, with this organization to this funder.
We also gave space for partners to cope with the news.
Yeah, exactly. Settle with the news, and then be able to come back and say, hey, we actually, you know what, we do want to take that on. Great point, Jasmine. Yeah. We do want to take that on. We've talked internally. We think we are ready to. Let's have a meeting so you can share these templates, so you can share the budget, so you can share relationships or whatever, data. That has been what our 5 months has looked like, or almost 5 months now. I guess past 3 since we made the announcement. It's been conversations. How do you run web? Yeah. What does this look like? What does it take? What is Summers in Skyway going to look like? What is the budget? What's the cost per student? There's a funding proposal potentially on the table. Let's set them up for that. So I think, like those are 2 things for sure, of like, one, thinking of your staff, and like, if you can, give yourself time.
The fact that, we're from the community, still live in the community, our family is still in the community, right? Like, we still have to show up. We have to. And our students are students in the district. Our children are students in the district, excuse me. So while we're trying to figure out, and the community is trying to figure out what's next, like Ryan said, who's going to take the torch, we're going to be standing right there with everyone. So I definitely wanted to put into this podcast to let everyone know, although RIZP is sunsetting, it doesn't mean Jasmine, Christabel, and Ryan will be leaving Skyway or Renton. You guys will still see us around for sure, and we'll be still doing our thing as well.